Thank you very much, Senator Kelly. Senator Scott, please.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Secretary Kendall and General Brown, can you tell me how you'll anticipate using A-10s over the next 5 years?
A-10 still has some utility in certain situations, counterinsurgency, counterterrorism in particular.
Are you using them?
They're less useful against the more advanced threats.
Right. So you're not using them, but you're not. There's no place where you're using them today. Is that right?
We don't have them deployed right now today.
Yeah. So you're not. So in your budget, you're continuing to maintain these aging A-10s, and then it seems to me that what we're doing is that you've got you're only requesting 33 F-35As, which is the fewest since 2015. Does that make any sense? I mean, why we keep these maintainers on the A-10s, which we're not going to use, we don't anticipate using, and then we do fewer F-35s?
Our goal, Senator, is to transition away from the A-10 and what I want to have is particularly for our fighter fleet, more multi-capable, multi-role platforms. And so the intent here is, as we retire the A-10s, is to take those maintainers and those operators and put them into the other capabilities like the F-35 and the F-15EX.
But in your budget, you're still maintaining A-10s. I mean, we don't have unlimited dollars, right? So it just doesn't seem logical that we're continuing to maintain A-10s, and then you have less money to get F-35s. And I mean, if it's just politics, I get it. I mean, you can tell me it's just politics, but that doesn't seem to make much sense. I mean,
yeah, part of it, Senator, is a transition, and our ability to transition to maintain some level of capability, not only for today's combatant commanders, but as we make the transition, what our future combatant commanders will require. So it's something we've talked about, as you might imagine, over the years of how we make that transition. It's something we'll continue to work with this Congress and this committee on how best to do that.
General Raymond, it was previously understood that the Air Force, Space Force, and the National Guard Bureau all agreed that it was prudent to establish a Space National Guard. Now OMB is fighting this and claims the establishment of a Space National Guard would cost hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think that's true. There's no need to establish a Space National Guard in every state, and OMB should not. I don't think they ought to be saying that otherwise. It seems to me that we only need about 17 units across 7 states. So what do you think that makes sense, or?
So we've been operating with Guard for 25 years. They're in 8 states and 1 territory. We have 839 guardsmen that perform space missions, and those are critical folks today, operating critical capabilities for us today.
Okay. So in your opinion, it would be more cost-effective and operationally efficient if we established a Space National Guard?
There's several ways you can do this. There's several options. There's several courses of action. You can establish a Space National Guard. You can have the Air Force National Guard continue to support us like they do today, or you can take the capabilities out of the Guard and move them into this one component. There's several different options. The NDAA of last year directed us to do a study, and we'll do that and come back to you with more thoughts on that.
Okay. Secretary Kendall, John Brown. So let's go back to the A-10s. I mean, is it just pure politics? Doesn't it bother you? You have unbelievable expectations. You watch what's going on in Europe. You watch what's going on in Communist China, and then you guys don't have an unlimited budget. I just don't get this idea that we have to maintain something we're not anticipating using anytime again, and we're not spending enough money on F-35s. So in your opinion, what would you do? I mean, forget what you have to do based on your jobs. What's your opinion? What we should do with A-10 versus more F-35s?
We are divesting 21, I think, A-10s in this budget in Indiana, replacing them with F-16s, and we would expect to divest additional A-10s in the future.
We continue on the path of the transition away from the A-10 to the F-35, F-15EX.
But is your money? Would you keep maintaining A-10s?
Part of this, again, Senator, it's the transition away from the A-10 to where we are today. And as you might imagine, I can't predict the future, but the way my sense is we're not going to be in very many permissive environments where the A-10 will survive, which is why we got to make the transition away.
Thank you for what you're doing. I don't think your jobs are easy, and good luck.